It's the year 1452. You're standing before walls that have never been broken. 3 layers of stone rise in front of you. Towers, battlements, flags barely moving in the wind. Beyond them lies Constantinople, the last great city of the Roman world. For more than 1,000 years, this city has survived invasions, plagues, civil wars, and sieges, and yet it still stands. You step closer. The outer moat stretches wide, dry for now, a defensive ditch designed to slow armies before they ever touch stone. Beyond it, the first wall, then the second, then the massive inner wall, taller than anything you've ever seen. This isn't just architecture, it's a system. These are the Theodosian Walls, built in the 5th century when Rome itself was falling apart. While the Western Empire collapsed, this eastern capital adapted, reinforced, and endured. Constantinople was never just defended by soldiers, it was defended by engineering. You enter through one of the great gates. Inside, the noise changes. Markets hum with trade in Greek, Latin, Armenian, Arabic. Spices from the east, wool from Anatolia, grain from the Black Sea. This is not a dying city, it's a crossroads. Caravans arrive daily, ships crowd the Golden Horn, taxes are collected with strict order, warehouses track goods carefully. Constantinople survives because it controls movement between Europe and Asia, between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, between past and future. Everything must pass through here, and everything pays. You walk uphill toward the center. The streets are narrow in places, wide in others. Stone houses press close together. Workshops line the lower quarters, metalworkers, shipbuilders, scribes copying manuscripts by hand. Above it all rises a dome unlike anything else in the world. Hagia Sophia. For nearly 1,000 years, this cathedral has dominated the skyline. Its massive dome seems to float, suspended by light and mathematics. Inside, gold mosaics shimmer in candlelight. Marble columns brought from across the empire hold the structure steady. This is not just a church, it is a statement. The emperor rules here by divine authority. Religion and politics are inseparable. In Constantinople, power flows downward from heaven. You continue toward the imperial palace complex. Here, administration runs like clockwork. Bureaucrats record taxes, officials manage grain supply, messengers carry orders to distant provinces, diplomats negotiate constantly. The empire no longer controls what it once did. Much of Anatolia is gone, the Balkans shrink, territories fade, but the city remains organized, resilient. The key to Constantinople's survival has never been size, it's been adaptation. When enemies threatened from land, the walls were reinforced. When fleets approached, a massive iron chain stretched across the Golden Horn, blocking ships from entering. When trade routes shifted, new alliances were formed. The city bends, but it does not break. As evening approaches, the harbor glows orange. Ships rock gently in the Golden Horn. Fishermen repair nets. Children run along the docks. For centuries, this water has been lifeblood. Grain shipments keep the population fed. Naval power protects supply lines. Without the sea, the city would starve. Without the walls, it would fall. Without trade, it would wither. Constantinople survives because every piece connects. Defense, religion, trade, administration. A living machine of stone and water. But something is different now. Beyond the horizon, a new power is rising. The Ottoman Empire has grown stronger every year. Anatolia is no longer a buffer, it belongs to them. And their young Sultan, Mehmed II, has a single ambition: to take this city. Not for plunder, for legacy. You stand again atop the walls. From here, you can see the countryside stretching outward. Villages, farms, forests. and in the distance, smoke. The Ottomans are preparing. Cannons are being cast, larger than anything seen before. For 1,000 years, walls stopped armies. But now, gunpowder is rewriting the rules. Constantinople has survived everything, but it has never faced this. Still, inside the city, life continues. Bakers knead dough before sunrise. Monks chant in candlelit chapels. Merchants argue over silk prices. The population has shrunk compared to its golden age, but it is not empty. It is waiting. No one knows how long the walls can hold, but they trust them. After all, they always have. This is Constantinople before the fall. Not a myth, not a legend, but a city built on systems that once made it unbreakable. And for now, it still stands. It's early 1453. Winter has barely lifted. From the towers, you can see them now. Tents spreading across the fields outside the city. Thousands of them, ordered, disciplined, expanding every day. The Ottoman army has arrived. This is not a raiding force. It is a calculated operation. Sultan Mehmed II is only 21 years old, but he understands something no previous enemy fully exploited. Constantinople's strength is stone, so he brings thunder. Near the camp, something enormous is being assembled. Iron bands, thick wooden frames, massive bronze tubes, cannons. Not small field artillery, but siege guns large enough to shake the earth itself. For centuries, the Theodosian Walls stopped ladders, towers, battering rams. But gunpowder doesn't climb walls, it breaks them. When the first cannon fires, the sound rolls across the plains like a storm. Inside the city, the vibration travels through stone. Dust falls from ceilings, windows tremble. For the first time in 1,000 years, the walls feel fragile. You stand along the battlements as another blast erupts. The outer wall absorbs the impact, cracked but standing. Men rush to reinforce weak points with timber and earth. Because here's the secret. The walls were designed to adapt. Between each layer, defenders can retreat, repair, reposition. Constantinople's defense is not just thickness, it's depth. 3 lines, multiple towers, angled surfaces that deflect. Even cannons struggle against layered design. Inside the city, supply systems tighten. Grain is rationed carefully. Water cisterns are inspected daily. Black Sea routes are watched anxiously. The population is smaller than in centuries past, perhaps 50,000 remain. That helps. Fewer mouths to feed, but fewer defenders too. In the harbor, the great iron chain still blocks the Golden Horn. Massive links stretched from one side to the other. No enemy ship has ever crossed it. The Byzantine fleet is small, but protected. Naval defense relies not on size, but on barriers. For now, the sea remains secure. But Mehmed is patient. He doesn't attack blindly. He studies, measures distances, adjusts cannon angles. He orders trenches dug, positioning his artillery closer each day. This siege is not emotional, it is mathematical. Inside the city, Emperor Constantine XI walks the streets. He knows the odds. He also knows retreat is impossible. This is the last remnant of an empire that once ruled the Mediterranean. If Constantinople falls, there is no backup capital, no second wall, no second chance. Yet morale must hold. Churches fill with prayer. Greek and Latin Christians, long divided, now stand side by side. Fear has a way of dissolving old arguments. Another cannon blast. This time, a section of outer wall collapses. Not fully breached, but damaged enough to see daylight through stone. Defenders rush forward. Earth, rubble, wooden beams, temporary fortifications rise overnight. The Ottomans attack the weakened section. They are pushed back, because breaking stone is one thing, crossing layered defense under arrow fire is another. For weeks this continues, bombardment by day, repair by night. Stone falls, men rebuild. The city refuses to open. Then something unexpected happens. You hear shouting from the harbor. Ships, Ottoman ships, not approaching the chain, but appearing inside the Golden Horn. Impossible, yet real. Mehmed has done what no one predicted. He ordered ships dragged over land, across greased logs, over hills, bypassing the chain entirely. The harbor is no longer secure. Constantinople is now surrounded by land and sea. The system is cracking. Inside, tension spreads faster than fire. Supply routes shrink. Defenders are forced to divide attention. Morale wavers, not from fear of death, but from fear of inevitability. Because this is no longer a test of walls, it is a test of endurance. How long can repairs outpace destruction? How long can men stay awake? How long can food last? Still, the city stands. For nearly 2 months, bombardment continues. Massive cannons roar daily. Some explode from their own pressure, others pound relentlessly. The defenders adapt again and again. They plug breaches, they counterattack at night. They fight not for territory, but for time. Every extra day is survival. Every sunrise is defiance. From atop the walls, you look outward. The Ottoman camp stretches endlessly. Discipline, order, resources. Behind them stands an empire expanding rapidly across Anatolia and the Balkans. Behind you stands memory, Rome, Byzantium, 1,000 years of continuity. Stone versus momentum, tradition versus transformation, the future pressing against the past. And now, the bombardment grows louder, more frequent, more precise. The inner wall begins to show fractures, hairline at first, then widening. The defenders are exhausted, repairs slow, supplies thin, and everyone knows the final assault is coming. It's May 29, 1453, before dawn. The air feels heavier than usual. From the walls you see movement in the darkness, torches shifting in organized lines. Drums begin to echo across the fields. This is not another probing attack. This is everything. Mehmed has ordered a full assault. Wave after wave will strike the weakened sections of wall, not randomly, but strategically. Exhaust the defenders, stretch them thin, force mistakes. Inside the city, church bells ring before sunrise, not in panic, in preparation. You stand near the breached section where the inner wall has cracked the most. For weeks, repairs have held, but the stone is tired now. The first wave hits. Irregular troops rush forward, not expected to break through, but to drain energy from defenders. Arrows fill the air, stones fall, shouts rise and fade. They retreat. Then the second wave. More disciplined, better armored, pushing ladders, probing gaps. Again, the defenders hold. Barely. The sun begins to rise. Smoke drifts across shattered stone. Then comes the final wave. Elite troops, coordinated, focused entirely on the weakest point near the gate of St. Romanus. The cannons had done their work there. The breach is no longer a crack, it's an opening. Defenders scramble to block it with wood and rubble, but exhaustion has a cost. Leadership falters in one section. A gate, small, secondary, perhaps carelessly secured, is forced open. Not by overwhelming destruction, but by opportunity. Momentum shifts in seconds. Once attackers gain footing inside the outer defenses, the layered system begins to fail. Because Constantinople was designed to repel from outside, not to contain from within. Fighting spreads toward inner streets. Command signals become harder to relay. Defenders who have held for weeks now face something new: encirclement. Emperor Constantine XI is last seen near the fighting. He does not retreat to the palace. He does not flee by sea. He remains with his soldiers. After that moment, history grows quiet. By midday, resistance collapses. Not because courage disappeared, but because systems did. Walls breached, harbor compromised, defensive layers overwhelmed simultaneously. The city that survived for 1,000 years has finally been outpaced. Not by brute force alone, but by adaptation. Gunpowder, logistics, strategic patience. Mehmed enters the city later that day, not as a destroyer seeking chaos, but as a ruler claiming a capital. Because that is what Constantinople always was, a capital. Whoever held it commanded a crossroads of continents.
You walk through the streets hours later. Doors hang open. Markets stand abandoned. Smoke rises from scattered fires. But the stone remains. Hagia Sophia still dominates the skyline. The harbor still reflects sunlight. The walls still stand, though fractured. The city has not vanished, it has changed hands. Within days, order begins to reform. Mehmed declares the city his new capital. He invites populations back. Merchants, artisans, scholars. Constantinople will not be erased. It will be transformed. Hagia Sophia becomes a mosque. Administrative systems shift. Language shifts. Identity shifts. But infrastructure remains. Water systems still function. Harbors still operate. Markets reopen. Because cities, like empires, survive through adaptation. The fall of Constantinople is often remembered as an ending, the end of Byzantium, the end of the Roman world. But from these streets, it feels more like a turning, a hinge in history. Trade routes will change. Scholars will migrate west, carrying manuscripts with them. Gunpowder warfare will redefine defense across Europe. And this city, now called Istanbul, will rise again as the center of another empire. You stand once more atop the walls at sunset. The same stone, the same sea, the same horizon. In 1453, it didn't simply fall, it transitioned. Because no city survives forever unchanged. Even the strongest walls must eventually yield to time, technology, and transformation. This was Constantinople before the fall. Not a myth, not a legend, but a system of stone, water, faith, and strategy. And systems, no matter how powerful, eventually meet something new.